Hey, this is Jessica with the Mindful Mentor, where I teach math mindfully. For today's Homeschool Resource Demo video, we're going to be looking at the online program BrainPop. BrainPop is a program for students in K through 8 that can be used to teach all kinds of different topics, including English, history, science, math, and more. And they have video lessons and quizzes you can use and activities you can have your students do. And when you sign up as a parent, you get an educator account where you can pick and choose what assignments you want to assign to your students so they'll know exactly what to do, and so you can personalize it exactly for them. You also get access to up to 4 student accounts, so you can use it for your whole family and assign different things to different students. So let's take a look at what BrainPop is like. Okay, so let's look at the different types of accounts that you can create within BrainPop. So we would do for families, and then they have a homeschool subscription where you can get a 2-week free trial. So you'll click on that to get the BrainPop. They've got options for either family or homeschool. And so you can pick whichever one you want. Even if you homeschool, you could just choose the family plan if you want to. This comes with, it's more just like supplemental things, I think. And the homeschool one is where you can like make assignments as the teacher and everything. And you get access for up to 4 students. So if you have multiple students and you want to be able to assign them specific things and like quizzes and activities and things, then the homeschool plan is probably the best one. And so you can pay all at once for a whole year, or you can pay monthly. And there's different grade levels. Like if you have younger kids, you could just pick the younger option. If you have older kids, you could do this one, or you can get the combo. Especially good if you have like a 2nd grader and a 6th grader and you want to be able to let both of them use it, then the combo would be best for that. So you would pick which one you want and pay for that, and then it will start your free trial, and it won't charge you until the free trial is over. So if you want to just try it for those 2 weeks, you do have to enter in your payment information, but you can try it for those 2 weeks. And if you cancel before then because you decide it's not for you, then you won't get charged for it. And then once you've got your account created and set up, then when you want to log into it, you come to brainpop.com and you would log in, and you would log in as a grown-up, and your students would click this when they're logging in, and you'll type in your information and then get logged in. And so this is what it looks like on the parent end on your dashboard. And you can see that they have access to a bunch of different topics here. You can pick which ones you want to assign them. And you can even click what grade level your student is for, and then they will have recommended topics for you that if you're not sure what you want them to work on. But if you do, so say you want them to work on something specific in math, you can click the math section and it will show you all the different topics that they've got. So you can go by very specific subtopic, or you can go by different units where it will kind of group them together into different units like this. And so let's just pick one and see what it's like. I'm just going to choose algebra. Then this is where you could see all the subtopics within algebra. And so if there's a specific thing you want them to practice, maybe you want them to practice solving 2-step equations, then you can go there and it will show you all of the resources they have for that. So usually it starts with a movie, and the movie is kind of what explains it. It's like the video lesson. Then they've also got a quiz that the students can take, challenge assignments. They can make like a mind map using like vocabulary and things like that. There's an option for them to make their own movie. So like if you assign that to them, then there's a program in BrainPop that lets them create their own video that's kind of describing their understanding of it, so you can get a better idea. Instead of them just taking a quiz, you can watch them actually like explain it and work it out. They've got coding options too, and then vocab practice, and then some extra related readings that might just kind of show students how this topic can relate to other topics as well. So let's look at what some of these things would do. So if you decide to have them watch the video for the lesson, you can either just have them watch it just plain with no questions in it, or you can choose to have a set of questions at each of the pause points. So you see here, these orange circles are where it would pause and ask them a question. And you can choose which set you'd want them to do. And then that way, when they watch the video, it will pause and ask them questions at each of those spots. But you can also choose to just have them watch the video, or you could have them do both, watch the video one time through, and then maybe have them do the questions watching it a 2nd time through. So let's watch the video and get an example of what kind of stuff they have in these videos and what they're like.
I like this one. Now this is good wallpaper. How'd this get in here? Dear Tim and Moby, what are two-step equations used for? From Marcy. I think we're going to need a two-step equation to solve this wallpaper problem. Equations like this are one step. There's only one thing we need to find the variable, or the letter standing in for the number we don't know. We divide each side by 2, and with one step, we have our answer. Two-step equations involve more than one operation. As you might guess, they take 2 steps to solve. What did you find in the newspaper, Moby? Goober's Fancy Home Decor. Get 12 square meters of best quality wallpaper for $189, including the regular $33 installation charge. Best deal around, guaranteed. Lynn's Galaxy of Paint. Blowout special. All wallpaper is $11 per square meter. Call today. Right, we're going to put up the wallpaper ourselves, so forget the installation charge. We need to figure out which place has the cheaper per meter rate. Okay, Goober's is offering 12 square meters plus the $33 installation charge for $189. Let's call that unknown price per yard P. 33 plus 12 times the unknown wallpaper price, P, should get us to $189. We need to solve this for P. Yeah, this equation involves subtraction and division, so it has 2 steps. That 33 is just hanging out there on the left, so we can start by subtracting that from both sides. This gets us closer to isolating that variable. E. So 12p equals 156. Now, to fully isolate the p, we can divide each side by 12, which makes p equal 13. That's $13 per square meter. What do you know? Lynn's Galaxy of Paint is cheaper. Did you find a good pattern? Oh, no way. Nuh-uh, not happening.
Okay, so that was a preview of what the video lesson part looks like of each topic. And so now let's go back to the teacher dashboard and we can see where we can assign things to the students. So first thing you would need to do is make a class. So you'd have to create a class that you would put your students in. And so if you have students in different age groups, you might want to create different classes for them. So like say you have one student who's in 3rd grade and we're going to start a class for her. So I just named it after her, create her class, and then this is the code that she would use to basically log in to your class. And so you can write that down, or you can send them a link and they can just click the link, but you can just give them the code and they can join your class this way. Okay, and so that's where you would create all your classes for all of your students. And then here is where it would show any assignments that you've assigned to any of your classes. And then down here, it would show any projects you've created or things that or any projects that you've assigned to any of your classes. So let's look at what it looks like to create an assignment. So you can pick whatever topic you want. I'm a math person, so I'm gonna stick with math. And let's say we want to learn about fractions. Let's do adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so then you get to pick what activities you want. So remember when we looked earlier, if I had gone and picked fractions, it would have shown me the videos and the quiz and everything. And so right here is where you can go through and add all of those different parts of the lesson to your actual assignment. So you might not want them to do every part of it. You can just pick and choose. So I want to assign them the movie. I do want them to watch the video about adding and subtracting fractions. And then I also want them to take the movie quiz. So I'm going to check that too. It is auto-graded and there's an option for the immersive reader, meaning you can have it read to them if they have any trouble reading it off the screen or anything. And then there's 2 different modes. You can have them do review mode where they just watch, or they just, they take the quiz and they can't move on to the next question until they get the answer right. So it will, when they answer a question, it will tell them if it's right or wrong. And if it's wrong, it will make them keep trying until they get it right. Or you can do graded mode, where they just answer each question just in order. It doesn't tell them if it's right or wrong until the end. Then it shows them their score at the end, and they have the opportunity to go back and see what their mistakes were. Or you could choose to have them do both ways. So and then also over here, if you're ever wondering what it is that you're going to be showing them, like if you want to see what does the fractions movie look like, you can click preview here and it will show you that movie. Here, let's get an idea. Since we already saw what a video looks like, let's look at what the quiz would look like. So let's check the preview of this one. Okay, so here's the quiz for adding and subtracting fractions. You can see what the review option would look like and what the graded option would look like. So let's just look at the review style really quick. So it says which two fractions are equivalent, and I'm just going to pick one that's wrong just so we can see. So it shows you that that answer was not correct, but it makes you keep trying until you do get it right. So which two are equivalent? Then once you get it correct, then it will move you to the next problem. Okay, so that's an example of what the what the review version looks like. And then let's look at the graded version. So I'm just going to answer them correctly. There's 10 questions here. I'm going to go through all of them and answer them, some correct, some incorrect, so that way you can see what it will look like. So I'm just clicking random things here. I'm not going to pay attention to if they're right or wrong. We just want to see what it's going to look like at the end. Okay, so in the graded version, it tells you how many you got right, and then it shows you which ones are right or wrong, and you're able to click on them to go back if they want to go over the problem and see if they can redo it and try and figure out their mistake. So it tells you what answer you put that was incorrect, and then it shows you what the correct answer should have been. Okay, so I want them to watch the movie. I want them to do the movie quiz in graded mode. And you can see down here it's tallying all the things. So far I've assigned them 2 things. Then next section would be to deepen and extend. So if you want them to go past just watching a video and taking a quiz, you can have them make an interactive concept map. And it's different tools here where they can make a map to show this. Or you can have them make a movie where there's different tools that they can use to make that. So if you're going to have them make a movie, here's an example of what it would look like. Like in the video that we saw the example of, it always starts with a letter. So the movie is answering a letter. So you can either click on this and it will give you letters that you can answer. Or if you want to make up the question that they have to answer as the teacher yourself, you can go to Write New and you can create the question that you want them to answer. And so then it's got all these tools for sound and backgrounds and different symbols and things here that they can use, and they'll create what they want their movie to look like here. So that's if you want them to go above and beyond just taking a quiz, they can create a movie to show you their understanding here. Okay, so you can select any of these options. You can have them do a coding project as well. They've got some cool coding options here. So you can choose a coding project to have them practice coding using Scratch, which is kind of like drag and drop coding, or using a program called VidCode, where it's more typing their own code from scratch. And then there's some extra activities you can assign, some related reading, which has different like texts that they can read that are related to the topic. You can assign them a worksheet that goes with it, a graphic organizer, have them practice some vocabulary, or you can create a mixed quiz. So I'll show you that in a second. Another option is that you can choose a game for them to play. And so you would search, and I would search for like fractions. And so it looks like this one is related to fractions. So I will assign them that. So now that shows up as an assignment, as part of this assignment as well. So let's also look, we already had the video quiz, but if you wanted to create your own quiz, you could also click here for select a mixed quiz, and then you can create a quiz yourself. And so when you're creating this quiz, I'm going to say I'm going to call it adding and subtracting fractions. You can put a note here to yourself if you need to. And then, so you can either write your own questions. If you've got specific questions you know you want them to answer, you can do that yourself. You can either make it multiple choice or where they have to type in their answer. You can upload an image if you have a picture or something that you want to go with your question. Or if you don't want to make your own questions, you can go to the search and then you can find problems that already exist for the topic you're looking for. So adding and subtracting fractions, if we search for that, we see there's a bunch of other quizzes that have already been made that are about this. So I don't need to make my own questions unless I really want to. So here's one that's been made before. It has 20 questions. So let's look at what they look like. So then you can go through and you could add all of these questions to your test if you want, or if you're like, well, I want them to do this one, but I don't really care if they do this one, then you can just pick and choose the ones that you want. And if you want to see what it looks like, this blue arrow can show you what the question is and all the options and the right answer. And if you want to add this one, then you would just click the plus sign, and now it's been added to your quiz. If you want to add the entire quiz, you can click this plus here, and that will add all of the questions to your quiz. See, so there's tons, and you can pick and choose. You could maybe pick 3 from this quiz, and then go over here. If there's other ones that you like, then you can add a few more from this one and kind of piece together your own quiz so that it ends up being exactly how you want it to be. And then once you're done picking all the questions or creating your own if you want, you could even create some of your own and some questions from these other existing problems and just kind of mix and match. And once you're done, then you would click finalize. And then you can, there's some options here too. You can have it randomize the question order. You can have it either just be review, the type where they have to get it right to move on, or be graded so they find their score at the end. And then there's an option to share with other people if you want to. And then so once you have selected all of the different things that you want to have them do, so maybe I want them to do the reading also and the worksheet and the quiz I made and this game. And so we've got 5 things total in this whole assignment. You could add more topics if you want to make one big assignment, or you can, break them up, keep them separate. But once you're done, you could either, if you started creating an assignment and you're not ready to be finished with it yet, you can save and finish it later. Or if it's totally ready, you want to assign it to your student, then you can click next. And that's where you would go to pick students that you want to assign it to. So this is a class that I had made earlier that I already added myself to. So I'm going to assign this to myself. And then I'll give a title to this assignment. So adding and subtracting fractions. If I wanted to, I could give them special instructions right here. And then it's optional to pick a due date. So say I want it to be due next Thursday. Or if you are someone who likes to plan ahead and you created this assignment, but you don't want it to be assigned until next week or something, then you could post it to be assigned later on. So both of these are optional. You don't need a due date and you don't need to reschedule it for later if you don't want to. So this shows me all of the different parts of my assignment that I chose, and it's in a specific order just because that's the order we picked, but then you can move them around. Usually you probably want them to watch the movie first, but really it's up to you. You can put them in any order you want. Okay, and then again, you can save and finish it later, or if you're ready, you can assign it to your student. Okay, so now it has been assigned to them. And so if you want to see what it looks like from the student side, you can click View Assignment as a Student, or you can go back to your parent dashboard. So let's see what it looks like on the student side. Okay, so when they're in their dashboard, this is what they'll see as their current assignment. It shows when it's due, and then these are all the different parts of it that we had assigned them. So first they would watch the movie, then this, and this is the order that they would do it all in. And then as the parent, when you go back to your dashboard, this is where you could see your classes that you've created. So these are the students I have created in my classes. And then this is what I just assigned to them. So anything you've assigned to any of your students will all show up right here. And you can see if they've completed it or not. And then any other projects or anything you've assigned will also show up here, or quizzes or things like that. That way you can see what stuff you've already created, and you can see if the students have completed it or not. So when you go to an assignment, you can see the progress. You can see, even if they haven't completed it, you could at least see what parts of it they've gotten done. And then If you wanted to export any grades, there's an option for that as well. You can also, if you use Google Classroom to assign things to your student, there's an option to connect this to your Google Classroom as well. Or if you wanted to like email them the link instead of making them sign in and use the code to join your class, then there's an option for that as well. And on the student end, when your student is ready to log in, they would go log in and go to I'm a kid, and then they'll have to create an account. Or it says right here, it says if you have a class code, this is where they would type in like the class code that you gave to them. So this is a class code from a class that I've created. And then it tells you which class you're about to join. And then if they already have their own BrainPop account created, they would just click login, or they can click create an account. So I'm just going to log in with the one I've already created. Okay, so on the student end, this is what their dashboard looks like. They can see what assignments they have or what projects they have, or a timeline of things that they've already done before. So in here, it shows the assignment that I just assigned to my class as the parent. This is as a student, how they would see it. Also up here is notification that tells you what kinds of things have been assigned. So it's easy for them to see that there's something new assigned when they see the notifications here. Okay, so then they can click their assignment and go through it and do as much of it at a time as they want. They don't have to complete the whole assignment at one time. They can go through and do it at their own pace and do as much or as little as they want at a time. And then this is showing that it's part of that assignment that I had created. And so up here is where they could go and click to do the different pieces of it. So like if they were watching the movie and now it's over and they wanted to go to the game, they can click there to get to the game piece. So let's see what the game is like for this one. I hope this video helped you to get a good idea of what BrainPop is like and to figure out if it would be a good fit for you and your family and your students. If you are interested in trying it out, you can click the link in the description below, and they have a 14-day free trial so you can try it and see if it actually is a good fit for your students. If you have any other questions about BrainPop that I didn't address in my video, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you have any other homeschool resources that you'd like to see demo videos for, let me know that in the comments as well, and let me know what questions you might have about those resources so that way I can make sure to address your exact questions.